made of magnesium, and I mean, it's just so much lighter.
43 grams.
Imagine using a super light.
These are the best mice you can get. These are going at the top of the list. The greatest mice ever made. I don't think we'll see beat these for a long time.
Hello everyone, it's Drifty and welcome back to another video. Welcome to my review of the Finalmouse Starlight-12. This mouse is a 43 gram wireless mouse that dropped on May 1st, 2021. Mine arrived recently. I got the Starlight-12 Hades and I've been testing it for a little while now. For full transparency, before I start this review, I only have experience with the flagship Logitech, Razer, and Glorious mice. However, I've been playing competitive shooter games at a high level for a few years at this point, and I believe that my thoughts will be valuable. First off, for the size, it is very small. The closest comparison outside of the Ultralight 2 would be the Model O-. However, even that mouse is noticeably larger. I can comfortably grip this mouse with claw and fingertip, and I have a hand size of 18 by 10 centimeters. I recommend the small mouse, which is what I got, to anyone with a 1-2-2 grip with a hand size of 18 by 9 or less. With a 1-3-1 grip, you can get away with a slightly wider hand. If you are coming from the super light, the small size will definitely take time to get adjusted to, but it can be done. I would say in under a week. My personal grip is a 1-3-1 claw, and this mouse is taking a while to get adjusted to, but it gets more natural every time I use it. The mouse absolutely disappears in your hand during gameplay, and it feels very natural and easy to use. The light weight of this mouse is immediately noticeable and feels absolutely worlds different from any other mouse I've used. Now, let's get into my experience with this mouse as well as some pros and cons. While I'm still getting used to the small size and unbelievably light weight, I'm already beating or coming within a few hundred points of my best aim lab scores on my first runs of the day. Speaking of its performance, the scroll wheel is tactile and requires a comfortable but decent force to push down. However, if you have a Hades copy, the scroll wheel is noticeably off-center. Apparently this is on purpose, and it's unclear whether or not this is the case on all colorways, but just pointing that out. It doesn't affect gameplay at all. Personally, I prefer the feel of the Glorious and Logitech scroll wheels. However, again, this does not affect gameplay at all. The left and right clicks take more force to actuate than most other mice, especially the Superlight, but they feel very crispy and responsive. The side buttons are my favorite yet. They are not mushy and they are large enough to press while still staying out of the way when unwanted. These are absolutely fantastic for Fortnite, where I use both of my side buttons for building. The DPI button is also well situated, and I do not see anyone accidentally pressing this during use. Now let's do a sound test and comparison between the Superlight and Starlight-12. The wireless is surprisingly on par with the Superlight, and I do not actively notice any extra latency during use, even after using flagship wired mice for the majority of my gaming career. The sensor seems accurate, and I have not experienced any pixel skipping or loss of tracking during gameplay. The engravings are also not noticeable at all when gaming, and the paint job of my copy is perfect and as advertised. The liftoff distance on this mouse, I have no real accurate way of measuring, but I would estimate it to be around 1 millimeter. If you're using the Superlight or a Glorious Model O, same deal. The holes on this mouse are almost not noticeable while gaming. I did notice the holes on the Model O- personally. I kind of felt them on the left side of my hand while I was gaming, but these I do not feel at all. The coating and material on this mouse is fantastic. It almost absorbs the sweat. Like, I'm not saying that I sweat more than the average person, but my Superlight does have a good bit of sweat and particles of dust on it after a decent play session. However, with this mouse, it almost looks brand new. Like, even though my hand is slightly damp from the sweat, there is not even a spot on this mouse, and I find that really incredible. And if you have sweaty hands, this mouse is pretty much perfect. The battery life does not seem to be an issue thus far, however, it is likely nowhere near as long as advertised. Speaking of as advertised, this mouse is not actually a 37-gram wireless mouse. Apparently, Finalmouse decided to weigh the mouse disassembled and unpainted for knows why. Also, this mouse is not all magnesium alloy, the base is Ultem, which is a form of plastic. However, this is not a problem at all, and frankly, I do not care about the base being plastic, just don't squeeze the mouse excessively. Now, let me talk about my experience with not just the mouse, but with the company as well. I have to say, the company is pretty terrible. Limited drops always suck, no matter what product it is, and people even uploaded videos on YouTube of themselves botting the drop of the Starlight-12 mice. The guy that runs the Twitter is undoubtedly smoking something extremely potent, and their products are, weight-wise, never as good as advertised. Additionally, all their lies on Twitter and in their Discord server, as well as all those cringy tweets, those are just inexcusable. For example, they tweeted, "Products will start shipping by the end of this week on the 26th of May. Nobody got even a label printed until the 2nd of June. Additionally, my mouse took a whole 8 days from label created to arrive at my doorstep." This is not really a big deal at all, but their shipping still isn't as good as if you bought something from Logitech. They both came from California, and the Logitech arrived in 2 days instead of 8. Personally, I just think the company can't really be trusted, and I do have a hard time recommending a product from such a dog shit company. However, when the product is this good, I really don't have a choice. If you have a chance to buy one on the next drop, which they say is coming later this year, which actually means next year based off my experience with them, do so. The mouse is truly next level, and there are absolutely no real flaws with the mouse itself. However, do not sweat if you aren't able to grab one. The Superlight is a fantastic alternative, and personally, I would almost rate them the exact same simply because Logitech is an actual good, reliable company. This mouse is painfully perfect. The mouse is truly better than anything I've used, but it is really terrible that Finalmouse were the ones to make it. This mouse is undoubtedly going to be my main for the foreseeable future. However, I could see myself switching back to the Superlight if problems start to arise with this mouse, or if I become uncomfortable with the shape, size, or weight. This mouse is extremely light, which sometimes causes me to lose a little bit of control. However, I am sure this is just due to me being more used to heavier mice and the way that those work. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.